Hi there, Caffeine and Pixie Dust. I've met a lot of really cool people today and it'd be great if you could stop by too. And remember, keep aiming higher, further, faster. Hope to see you around. Duty calls.
Hello and welcome back to Caffeine and Pixie Dust. So, as I'm sure many of you are too, I'm really missing Disneyland Paris right now. It feels kind of strange to know that the park gates are closed, but hopefully before long we will be scampering back up Main Street, USA towards the castle and having all sorts of fun. But the other day, over an extremely large Disney mug of coffee, I started thinking about kind of the things I'd like to achieve when the park is reopened. So the attractions I'd like to hop on, the characters I'd like to meet, all that type of stuff. And then my train of thought kind of moved forward to what my practically perfect day at Disneyland Paris would be. And I started thinking about it, and actually, before I knew it, I was kind of caught up imagining this dream day, and it was a really nice way to spend about 5 minutes, and it brought back loads of lovely, happy Disney memories. So what I thought I'd do today is put together a video which is just that, my practically perfect Disneyland Paris day. Because if you've been to the parks already, hopefully this will bring back some happy memories and kind of help you to think about what you'd like to achieve or experience on your next trip. And if you haven't yet visited Disneyland Paris, it might give you an idea when you're sort of planning your trip to think about the things you might like to do. Now, just to set the scene for this practically perfect Disneyland Paris day, first of all, I'm not going to choose any particular season. This is going to be a regular Disney day, purely because all of the seasons are wonderful in their own right, and I can't choose a favourite, and I don't want to. I love Halloween, I love Christmas, I love visiting in the full colourful throes of the summer season, and I also love Disneyland Paris in the spring. And the other thing is, I kind of want this to be a standard Disney day, whenever is a Disney day standard, it never ever is. Purely because I don't want to be kind of checking the time constantly to dash over to Castle Stage for a certain show, be in Central Plaza for a certain parade. I just want to kind of go with the flow, follow my plan for a practically perfect Disneyland Paris day without having to worry about stopping and starting and checking timetables. The next thing I'm going to say is that the weather will be perfect. It will not be too hot, it will not be too cold, it will not be raining, and it will not be snowing, because although I love the pictures of Disneyland Paris in the snow, I don't want to be trudging around with wet, cold feet. So for this dreamy Disney day, we're going to have pure, brilliant blue skies with fluffy white clouds, and it's going to be a lovely, fresh, warm day. The next thing I'm going to say is that by some magic, Tinkerbell has waved her wand and all of the queues are 10 minutes. Obviously, for a dream Disney day, you would have no queues whatsoever. You might have the park to yourself. But on this day, the queues will just be 10 minutes, so each ride will just be a short wait, maybe enough time to have a quick snack in the queue, but it won't be too long to kind of put you off queuing. So yeah, that is the scene for our perfect Disney day. So let's see what we're going to get up to. So I really hope you can hear me okay, because it's actually a really, really windy day. All of the doors are kind of rattling in their frames because it's super windy. It's a real Wizard of Oz day here today. Anyway, just to carry on setting the scene in this imaginary scenario, I'm going to be staying on site. And I'm going to be staying at the Cheyenne Hotel because I love the Cheyenne Hotel. I love the theming, I love the atmosphere, I love the vibe, and on our last trip I was really, really happy with the room. I was very comfortable in the bed and I just really enjoyed it there. Just to say, if you do want to have a look at the room tour, I will link it below so you can have a look at that in the show notes if you're thinking of staying there. But I really enjoyed it. It was my return stay at the Cheyenne and I loved every minute of it, so yes, I would definitely stay there again. Now, the beauty of staying at the Cheyenne is that there is of course a Starbucks there as well, so this means that as we set off for our dream day at Disneyland Paris, I can grab an extra large coffee and some sort of delicious pastry or biscuity thing, and then we've got our lovely walk into the parks. Now, the walk into the parks from the Cheyenne takes about 10 to 15 minutes, but it's actually a really lovely walk because you're walking alongside the river, underneath the bridge, and as you walk alongside the river through the woods, you will pass, obviously you've got the Cheyenne behind you, and then across the bridge you've got the Santa Fe, which has got the most amazing decor. I love the outside of it, especially when it's all lit up. And then as you carry on walking, you've got Sequoia Lodge on your left, and then you come out and you can see Lake Disney with Newport Bay and Hotel New York Art of Marvel as well. So you carry on walking and then you get to the village and walk through the village, and it's just a really, really nice walk. I love it because it kind of gives you a chance to wake up, have that first sip of coffee, that first bite of pastry, and just kind of get yourself geared up for your Disney day. If you might need to phone home, check in with anyone, this is an ideal time, but it's also a really relaxing walk towards the parks. Now, the beauty of staying on site as well means that we can walk in and we're going to be there ready for gate opening for extra magic time. This is really, really special because you get to see Main Street USA sparkling and empty and clean, with a beautiful castle ahead twinkling away in the morning sunshine. And there's no feeling quite like being on Main Street USA for the start of extra magic time. It really is very special. So once we've made it into the park and we've taken some photos on an empty Main Street, and we've just, we're soaking in that lovely Main Street vibe with the wonderful soundtrack that plays, we're gonna make our way down to meet Mr. Donald Duck. Of course, gotta meet Donald Duck, number one. Now, there are two places we can meet Mr. Donald Duck. The first is at the top of the Liberty Arcade. Sometimes he's there, but mainly that's kind of Minnie Mouse or Pluto. Where he tends to meet is actually at the bottom of the Liberty Arcade. So you can either walk through the arcade or you can walk down Main Street USA and then take a left and you'll see him there. Now, we're going to meet Donald Duck, we're going to have a fantastic time with him, we're going to have some photos scanned on our photo pass, but then we're going to actually continue down the sort of walkway to Frontierland. If you don't know, this is a really good shortcut. I did show it in one of my vlogs. I think it was the April vlogs from last year, but I tend to use that walkway in most videos, so you'll probably see it. But it's a really good way of kind of getting a shortcut to Frontierland, and it's undercover so you don't get rained on. So that's just at the bottom of the Liberty Arcade, and take a left and walk through and you're in Frontierland. Now, we have walked Frontierland because I want to hop on my favourite ride to properly wake myself up, get my hair flying in the wind. We are going to hop on Big Thunder Mountain because it's one of the rides that is open during extra magic time and it's super popular later in the day. So it's a really good idea to hop on that for extra magic time. Once we've jumped off the ride and my hair is kind of out here, we're also going to grab a quick fast pass ticket. We can do this scanning our ticket or our annual pass and just grab that for later because that's really handy. And then we're going to set off for a little walk. We're going to walk through Frontierland and make our way to Fantasyland because I really don't think you can beat Fantasyland first thing in the morning. The colours just seem so vivid and bright in the morning sunshine. All of the kind of twinkling colours and the twinkling lights are just wonderful. So we're going to hop on Peter Pan's flight first of all, because again that gets quite busy in the day, although even later on we're going to be waiting for 10 minutes. But no, we're going to hop on Peter Pan because you can't visit Disneyland Paris without going on the Peter Pan flight ride. It is just wonderful. It really kind of sums up that amazing nostalgic vibe that you get at Disneyland Paris. So yeah, I always have to hop on that ride at least once. Then after Peter Pan's flight, I think we might make our way to the teacups. This is a tradition that we always have on Disneyland's trip. We always make sure that we jump on the teacups at least once in extra magic time because again, it's beautifully colourful, the park's quite quiet so you can really hear all the music playing, and it's just a great way to wake up, as long as you haven't just had breakfast because that might be a bit intense. And then after the teacups, I think we're going to wander over to Dumbo because again, that's a lovely way to kind of get a wonderful view of the parks first thing in the morning because you go right up high and whirl around and it's just gorgeous. It's a lovely way to start your day. Then after that, we're going to walk slowly up through Fantasyland, just taking it all in, soaking up that atmosphere. We might pop on the carousel as well. I don't think I popped on that on our last trip, but I would like to do it again soon. So yeah, we'll make a beeline for that. And then I'd like to walk us very slowly back up towards the castle. Now, we're all used to seeing the front of the castle and it's beautiful and the colours are absolutely stunning, especially first thing in the morning. But a view that often gets overlooked is actually the back of the castle. And to actually see the back, there is so much detail to take in. It's kind of got the beautiful romantic turrets and kind of, it's just really, really lovely. So I would suggest really slowly walking up to the back of the castle and just taking it all in. Then we're going to walk through the castle and go up the stairs because if you haven't yet visited upstairs in the Disneyland Paris castle, it really is a sight to behold. Because once in there you can follow a retelling of the Sleeping Beauty story, and they've sort of retold the tale through many different mediums. You can have a look at the stained glass windows that surround the castle, and sort of pick out the plot of the story. You can have a look at the tapestries, some of which sparkle because they're under a magical enchantment. But while we're there really soaking up the story of Sleeping Beauty, make sure that we stop by and listen to the sleeping, snoring guards, because you can actually hear them snoring, which is really cool. And also be sure to take a photo of the raven as well that's in there, because if you use your flash on your phone or your camera, the eyes actually glow up red, which is a bit spooky. Now, if we've really made the most and sort of taken in every detail of the Sleeping Beauty tale, we're going to walk on out to the balcony on the back of the castle. I love doing this, especially kind of as extra magic time starts to get a bit busier and the park starts to fill up a little bit more, because you can have a look at Fantasyland all laid out in front of you with the kind of glittering spires. You can see all the way to Small World, and it's just a gorgeous sight. It's a really nice place to take some photos, like panoramic views as well. So that's always something I like to do. So after we've finished taking in the beautiful view on the balcony behind the castle, we're going to make our way back down the stairs and out the other side of the castle. And around about this time, towards the end of Extra Magic time, if you look up Main Street, you're going to see a tide of people coming towards you, because that's when the gates open and the general public, sort of with day tickets, can start to come in. And so yes, the park is going to get a little bit busier. Now you might be thinking, we haven't met many characters, we've only met Donald Duck, because priority. However, we've got a sneaky plan, because we've actually already made a reservation at Plaza Gardens. Now I always, well, I say always, I've been twice, but in future I would always do the same. We make our reservations at Plaza Gardens for the end of Extra Magic time. This is wonderful because it means that if you're staying on site or you have an annual pass that gives you access to Extra Magic time, you can come into the parks, run around, have all the fun, and then go and sit down and have a lovely leisurely buffet breakfast. And it's nice to know you've got that to look forward to as well. So as the park gets a little bit busier, you can just go in and sit down and know that you've made the most of your time. Now the breakfast at Plaza Gardens is absolutely yummy. I did include some footage, I believe, in a vlog a couple of years ago. I think I did like a food diary. Yes, I did. I will link that below actually. I did a food diary of our time at Disneyland Paris, the restaurants we ate at, all that type of stuff. But no, the food at Plaza Gardens is lovely. You've got a mix of hot and cold food. You've got kind of sort of normal cooked breakfast fare. Then you've got like smoked salmon, blinis, pancakes, cream cheeses, all that type of thing. Lots of fresh fruit. It's really yummy. But the main thing about Plaza Gardens is the characters, because it is of course a character breakfast, and that's a wonderful way to get a head start on your perfect Disney day, because you tend to meet the same characters at Plaza Gardens, and they tend to be Mickey, Daisy, Scrooge, Tigger, Piglet, and sometimes Eeyore. I think we've been once when Eeyore wasn't there, but he tends to be there as well. So you get a good range of characters. Now I have mentioned in previous vlogs that you don't sort of sit down and, you know, have a cup of tea with these characters. They are sort of circulating the room quite quickly, but you do have enough time to have an autograph signed, have a hug, and have a couple of photos. And it's a really good way to meet a nice lot of characters in quite a short amount of time. And that will take the pressure off you later on in the day, because later on in the day, when, you know, the queue time for Meet Mickey is like an hour and you just don't want to spend a whole hour waiting to meet him, you've already met him. So you can scamper off to enjoy the rest of your day knowing that you've met a nice lot of Disney characters, which is brilliant. So following our super yummy breakfast, we've got very happy tummies, and I'm going to walk us over to Discoveryland. Again, I love Discoveryland in the morning. I think the sunshine glinting off Orbitron is really a sight to behold, and it's a really good ride too. However, because we've just had breakfast, I'm going to suggest that we hop on Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast. I really like Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast, but I really need to work on my score. So we're going to hop on there, and I'm going to do my best and try and really increase my score on there. I always do a bit better when the ride stops temporarily, and then I can kind of get all the targets, so fingers crossed. But after that, we're going to grab our photo on our photo pass, of course. You can scan it, or just get the QR code on your phone is a really good way to do it as well. Then, if we feel like breakfast has truly settled, I'm going to suggest that we go on my second favourite ride. Now, I always interchange Big Thunder Mountain and this one, they swap over, but Big Thunder Mountain is my number one. But my second favourite, and a very close second, is Hyperspace Mountain. Oh, how I love Hyperspace Mountain. I love the adrenaline rush you get when you're just about to shoot up through the tunnel. I love the music, I love the lighting. In fact, we were rewatching the Star Wars movies recently, and I really found that the music took me straight back to the ride, which is an interesting thing because obviously I watched the movies first, but no, straight away I remembered what it felt like at the start of the ride when you're about to get launched off into the ride. So we're going to have an amazing time whizzing through the darkness, flying past the stars, and then we're going to hop off the ride again, grab the comedy photo. Little tip as well, if you haven't been on Hyperspace Mountain and got the photo before, if you have been in like a cart as it were with a couple of people you don't know in front, when you actually get the photo, either you buy the photo or you have it scanned onto your photo pass, you can request that they edit in little astronauts, which is a really nice thing to do. So we've done that before. So we're going to grab our photos, and my hair's going to be even bigger than it was before, and then we are going to make our way slowly up Main Street USA, and I'm going to make a quick shopping stop because there is Boardwalk Candy Palace. Now it is the most it's a divine shop. It's so pretty, especially if you've got a sweet tooth. You've got loads of traditional sweets, great big jars of sweets to tempt you, pick and mix, lollipops, all sorts of goodies, popcorn, cookies, the lot. Candy floss as well, candy floss bigger than your head, which is always good. But what we're going to stop off for are the Mickey shaped cookies. Now these cookies are really big. They are kind of like almost face size. They're really big, they're really, really yummy. The one I had last time had a Nutella sandwiched in between it, and then it was dipped in chocolate. Absolutely delicious. So we're going to grab one of those cookies, at least one, because they tend to sell out quite quickly. So yes, it's always a good idea to get there in the morning if you can. And while we're there, I'm also going to grab 3 of my favourite Disneyland Paris fudges. My first favourite is rum raisin fudge. My second favourite is the lemon meringue, because I love anything kind of lemony and fresh and meringuey. Really, really like it. And then I think we'll go for the chocolate fudge as well. Although I do like the banana one too. Might have to get 4. Anyway, these are going to be safely stashed in our backpacks, and we're going to have them later for parade snacks, because it's always good to have some yummy snacks for the parade. And then we are slowly going to make our way over to Walt Disney Studios, and while we go, we're just going to walk and we're going to enjoy all the music that we can hear as we walk across Fantasia Gardens. It's lovely to really enjoy the music and kind of spot the theme tune, remember the film. It's a really nice thing to do. And once we've got into Studios, again, we're going to make a quick shopping stop, because the shop just inside Front Lot, as you go in on your left, is a great big shop. It's just behind where Goofy tends to meet, and it's a really, really great shop. If there's anything in particular you are after, I can almost guarantee you're going to find it there. The 3 really good shops to track things down are World of Disney in the Village, the shop in Studios that I'm mentioning now in Front Lot, and also I find the stores in Frontierland really, really good, because you tend to find quite kind of niche things squirreled away there that you're trying to see. Maybe if you've sort of seen them on Instagram, you're trying to track them down. I think those 3 shops are really, really good. Obviously you've got the great big Emporium on Main Street USA as well, but those tend to be quite busy. So those are the 3 I tend to go for. So yeah, we're going to stop off at the shop there. I might buy some more ears. I probably will, to be fair, at least 1 pair, maybe a mug. Stash all the goodies in our backpacks, which are getting a bit heavier, so we'll eat the snacks later. And then I think we'll make our way over to Tower of Terror, because you can't beat Tower of Terror. And I think we're going to do the double if we can, because the queue's only going to be 10 minutes, of course. And of course, at the moment, you've got different storylines as well. On our last trip at Christmas, Amy and I really wanted to try and get lots of different stories, and both times we got the one with the little girl, which was quite scary, because of course they are drops that you're not expecting. So if you've been to Disneyland Paris a few times and you've been on Tower of Terror a few times, you know what to expect, and it's great fun. However, on our last trip, it was just like drops all the time. It felt like we got more drops than usual, and it was just brilliant. So we're going to hop on that at least twice. Then I think we're going to make our way over to Toy Story Land, because there's lots of rides at the moment, lots of attractions that are being reimagined and built and developed. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to hop on parachutes, because that's something I haven't been on for quite a long time. And I do love the fact that you get to go up and you get a really good overview of the parks, and it's not too kind of, after the adrenaline of Tower of Terror, going on parachutes isn't so bad, but it's again a nice way to get a good view of the park. And then after that, we're going to walk on down. Do let me know as well if you can get that kind of jelly bean smell, because whenever I'm in Toy Story Land, I'm sure I can smell candy, specifically jelly beans. So let me know if you can smell them too. Then we're going to walk under the archway to Place Remy, and we are going to hop on the Ratatouille ride. Again, the queue is only 10 minutes, but if the queue was a bit longer, I would suggest using the single rider if you can, because more often than not, you will walk straight onto that ride, which is really good. So we're going to come off the Ratatouille ride and we're going to walk past the restaurant and we're going to smell all the lovely food. But luckily, we have actually got a table reservation there, because what I tend to like to do is actually go on the ride. I might have a fast pass ticket for the ride, but then have a booking at the restaurant straight afterwards, because then it's a really immersive experience. Now, what I'd say about our reservation at the Ratatouille Restaurant, Bistro Chez Remy, is that I like to allow about 2 hours for that meal. I know it's not a character meal, but it's a meal that you enjoy. You take your time over, the food is delicious, and you don't want to rush it. It's not a quick stop, you know, you want to actually really enjoy it, really savour the food. So we're going to have about an hour and a half, about 2 hours there having lunch, and then we'll come out, maybe stop off at the little Ratatouille themed shop that is right next to the ride as well. That's a really good shop to get kind of cookery type gifts and things like that. Then I think we're going to have to make some time for a show, and the show I'm going to suggest we go and watch is Mickey and the Magician, because I love that show so much. Luckily I have got tissues because I will cry. I've cried each time I've seen it, so yes, it's a guarantee that I'm going to cry, but it is one of the best shows at Disneyland Paris, so definitely make time for that one. So after we've come out of Mickey and the Magician and we're feeling quite emotional because it is an emotional show, it's an amazing show, but it is quite emotional, I'm gonna suggest we hop on Tower of Terror again. I know we've already been on it twice, but I do love Tower of Terror, and it's a great way to kind of get your adrenaline going again before we head back to the main park. Now, as we walk back to the main park, I really want us to kind of take our time walking over. Again, it's really nice to enjoy the music in Fantasia Gardens. It's really beautiful to see the fountains, but also it's just lovely to sort of take in all the details. Disneyland Paris is amazing at colour theming the flower beds, making sure it all ties into the season we're there for, and just really making it look absolutely beautiful. The tulips always seem to be out, the blossom always seems to be drifting, unless you're in autumn obviously, but it always looks really beautiful because the cast members work tirelessly to make it look gorgeous. So it's only fair that we take time to really look around and enjoy it. Maybe stop off at one of the gazebos to take some photos, because that's always nice, and also discover the little sort of babbling brook in Fantasia Gardens as well, because sometimes when you've been dashing around the parks all the time, hearing running water and just taking a moment to kind of settle and chill a bit is a really nice thing to do too, after that adrenaline spike of Tower of Terror again. But no, we're going to walk underneath the Disneyland Hotel and really enjoy the sugar pink icing facade. It is absolutely gorgeous. So once we're back in the main park, I am going to keep a bit of an eye on the time, because the bittersweet thing about Disney days is that although they are great fun to plan and all the kind of anticipation of all the things you're going to do when you're there, months and months of planning, the actual days themselves go very quickly sometimes. So we're going to keep an eye on the time, and I'm going to suggest we walk down Main Street USA, underneath the castle, through Fantasyland, just to soak it all up and enjoy it, and then we're going to hop on It's a Small World, because we haven't been on it yet, and you cannot go to Disneyland Paris without going on It's a Small World. So we're going to jump on that and take a moment to cool down and rest, because it's been a hot sunny day all day, not too hot, just right, but it's nice to kind of cool down in the shade and of course sing along to that famous song, which will be in your mind for the next 3 months at least. So we're going to jump on It's a Small World. After that, I'm going to suggest that we go and get our place for the parade, because it's going to be soon and we want to make sure that we see it in a lovely position. So there are a number of places I like to watch the parade. I like to watch the parade at the top of Main Street USA with the castle in the background. I like to watch the parade actually right in front of the castle. There's a really good place down near the annual pass office, that's really good. But today I'm going to suggest, because we want to pack in all the fun, that we actually sit down and watch it kind of near the start of the parade. So we're going to sit down on the ground just outside Bella Notte, I always get it wrong, sorry, please forgive me. So we're going to sit down there. The reason we're going to sit on that side of the road, of the path as it were, is because at about 5 o'clock you tend to get the sunshine directly onto the other side, and I have sat and watched the parade there before, and it's been really bright, and I've been kind of squinting into the sun, not being able to see the parade properly, hoping I'm taking photos, and actually I just have kind of silhouettes of the characters. So we're going to sit on the other side and we are going to enjoy the parade. While we wait, we're going to have those Disney snacks. I'm going to have the cookie and then the fudge, probably quite a lot of it, although I was going to save it, and we're going to enjoy the parade. We're going to sing along, we're going to dance along, we're going to wave all our favourite characters. Then after that, we're going to move away quite quickly once the bubbles from Elsa and Anna have flown through the air towards us, because we have got some rides that we want to sweep up and get done. So I think the first ride that we're going to hop on, if you're feeling up to it, should we do that or not? No, we'll do Pirates of the Caribbean first. We will go to Pirates of the Caribbean first, and we're going to enjoy that and really enjoy kind of scampering around through the caves and enjoying that. And then we're going to hop on Indiana Jones if you're feeling brave, because I love that ride. Some people don't. Some people find it a little bit intense because it can get a bit sore on your neck sometimes. But I do love it. I love the adrenaline. So yes, Pirates of the Caribbean, and then we're going to hop on Indiana Jones, and then we are going to make our way up towards Frontierland, because we do have a fast pass for Big Thunder Mountain to use, but there's also somewhere else we haven't visited yet. We haven't been to Phantom Manor. So we're going to walk up through Frontierland, probably do some more shopping, and go to Phantom Manor. Now, if you haven't gone around the graveyard, we're going to have to go around the graveyard as well. So we're going to walk all around the graveyard, because there's all the sort of comedy headstones, and you can try and hear the beating heart in the tomb. I think I've heard it a couple of times. I don't think I could hear it on our last trip, so we need to go and do that. And we're going to enjoy Phantom Manor because it's really, really amazing since it's all been reimagined. And then before we hop on Big Thunder Mountain, because we've got the fast pass, we can do it whenever we like, I'm going to suggest we take a trip on the Molly Brown, because that is a lovely, lovely thing to do, especially on a sunny afternoon, kind of when you're coming towards the end of the afternoon, towards the evening. It's starting to cool down a bit, but people are still rushing around the parks, to hop on the Molly Brown and just take a turn around Thunder Mesa, take in all the kind of views of the island, see the train, wave at the people on the train. It's just a really nice thing to do. It doesn't take too long, but it's a nice way to kind of pause, reflect, and just soak it all in, especially on a sunny day, which is what we're enjoying, of course. And then after that, I'm going to suggest that we jump on Big Thunder Mountain with our fast pass and have all the fun and do all the screaming. I love whooshing through the tunnels in the dark. It's my best, my favoritist thing. And then we're going to get our photo, obviously. Now, we might be peckish by then, we also might not, because we've had the character breakfast at Plaza Gardens, and I had at least 2 plates because I love the food there. We then had the lunch at Bistro Chez Remy, which is beautiful, absolutely lovely, and then we had snacks for the parade, so we might not be too hungry. But then again, we do use a lot of energy dashing around Disneyland Paris, so if you want to grab some food, I'm going to suggest we head to Fuente del Oro, just opposite Big Thunder Mountain. I love, love, love the food in there, and I am going to go for anything that features churros on the menu, because I have to have the churros, they are delicious. And I will have a great big peach iced tea, because I always do. And then after that, I'm going to suggest that we walk over to the Swiss Family Robinson tree, because dusk is beginning to fall and all the fairy lights are starting to go on. And that's a really, really nice time to climb to the summit of the Swiss Family Robinson tree and just take in the view, to see all the fairy lights twinkling away up through Fantasyland and Main Street USA. You'll see it all sparkling. It's just a really lovely thing to do. So I'll suggest that we do that. And then I think after that, we are going to need to start thinking about getting a really good spot for illuminations. So we're going to head back through to go and get that spot. We might want to hop on Pirates of the Caribbean again, see how we feel, but there are a couple of spaces I would suggest we watch the fireworks. Now obviously, if you've got the annual pass that gives you the VIP access right in front of the castle, fantastic. The annual pass I have is the Magic Plus, so we don't get the VIP access, but there are a couple of places I would always suggest to go watch the fireworks. The first one is the one I traditionally always have gone to, and where the archway is for Adventureland, we've got the beautiful twinkling blue lights. That is a really good place to watch the fireworks. Admittedly, you are to the left of the castle, but I really like that angle on the castle anyway. I really like it because you get to see the square trees in the foreground. Also, you're kind of seeing it through a different viewpoint, because you've got sand dunes, you've got palm trees. It just is a different way to kind of experience the fireworks. So that's a really good place to watch it because it doesn't get too busy. Another really good place to watch it, actually, Amy introduced me to on our last trip at Christmas. So where the annual pass office is, the concrete, or the sort of paving, slightly goes up into a very slight incline, so it's a little bit higher up. This is a really good position to watch the fireworks from, because again, you're slightly to the side of the castle, only very slightly though. You can still see the archway, but you get a really, really good view of the castle. And to be honest, even if you have someone quite tall go in front of you, because you are on that slight hill, it doesn't matter that much. Gosh, if only it was that, you'd be absolutely fine. It's only a very slight hill, but it does make a difference. So we're going to watch illuminations from there. I'm going to really enjoy it. I do kind of miss Dreams, if I'm honest, but I do still love Illuminations. My favourite bit is the Star Wars segment when BB-8 rolls in front of the castle. So we're going to enjoy that, and then we're going to slowly make our way back up Main Street USA. Now, if we were in a rush, which we're not, I would suggest that we use either the Discovery Arcade over by the annual pass office, that's the side we're on, or if we're over by Adventureland, then I would suggest the Liberty Arcade, because you can walk straight up there without it being too busy. So that's a really good tip. But we're not in a hurry, so we're going to slowly walk up Main Street USA, looking at all the beautiful twinkling lights because I adore them. We might do some more shopping because there's always time for shopping, and then we're going to make one more stop off because I feel like we deserve a treat. Granted, we've had all sorts of yummy Disney snacks, but you can't end a perfect day in Disneyland Paris without some sort of yummy treat, and I'm going to suggest we go to Cafe Fantasia in the Disneyland Hotel for an ultimate treat. Now, you do not have to be staying at the Disneyland Hotel to go to this cafe or bar, as it were. You do not have to be staying on site. You can literally be a visitor with a day pass, you can be an annual pass holder staying off site, but it's a lovely experience to go inside the Disneyland Hotel, which smells divine, I think anyway, and actually to go up to Cafe Fantasia, to sit in front of the roaring open fire, or to listen to the pianist playing beautiful music and grab your favourite drink. It can be anything you want. You can have soft drinks, you can have tea, coffee, hot chocolate, but you can also have famous glowtini. Now, I always opt for the blue glowtini. It's my favourite, I always have it. I had a sip of the red one once and it was nice, but not as nice as the blue one in my opinion. But I'd love to know what your suggestions are for Cafe Fantasia beverages and drinks. I haven't tried the hot chocolate with the cube of chocolate yet. I always want to do that and I always end up ordering something else. So maybe next time I'm there for a chilly kind of wintry trip, I'll get that because that looks really, really cool. But no, we're going to have something delicious to drink there. And then after that, I think we're probably going to pop into Gallery Mickey because it's a lovely, lovely shop. Again, it's a really nice experience, but also quite often you'll find little bits hidden away in there that you wouldn't necessarily find anywhere else. So perhaps pins that are exclusive to the Disneyland Hotel, or the mugs. And also I've found that quite often if there's some ears that you're trying to get, for example, which were they that I was trying to find? I think it was the sort of Art Deco style gold ones I wanted. I couldn't find them anywhere on that trip apart from in the Disneyland Hotel shop. So always stop off at Gallery Mickey. And then after that, it's going to be time to go home. So we're going to bid farewell to the parks and I'm going to make my way back to the Hotel Cheyenne, where I'm going to fall asleep and dream of doing it all over again, because I do love spending time at Disneyland Paris, which you might have gathered. So there we go. That is my practically perfect day at Disneyland Paris. Obviously it helped that it was sunny and not too cold and not too hot. It helped that the ride queues were all just 10 minutes. We had fantastic luck in that respect, but it was a wonderful, wonderful day. I obviously put in quite a bit of time thinking this through, because once I started thinking about what I'd love to do when we go back to the parks, it just flowed, and I kind of really got quite carried away really with thinking what we do next, what I go on next, what I might have as a snack. And for just a moment, well, about 5 minutes actually, I got to just kind of have a bit of escapism, to get lost in my imagination, to get a bit carried away thinking about magical Disney days, and it was really lovely and it put a smile on my face. So I hope this has put a smile on your face. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you are planning your next trip, or if you're sort of trying to relive Disney memories, I hope this has helped kind of bring it to life for you a little bit, because I really enjoyed doing it. What I'd love to know in the comments below, please, is how you would spend your practically perfect Disney day. Have you got an idea of kind of the way you would make your most of your time? Have you got restaurants you'd love to go to, characters you'd love to meet? Or if you'd like to share some really happy Disney memories with us, please do pop them in the comments below, because that's really nice as well, to just kind of keep that Disney magic going a little bit longer, a little bit further, until we are back in the parks having all the fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please do leave me an Arendelle Aqua sparkly thumbs up, share, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things, and I'll see you real soon. Take care.